listening to the Marketing Personalities Podcast, a podcast for growth-minded entrepreneurs that serves up valuable insight and interviews about aligning your marketing strategy with your personality type. Because here's the deal. You shouldn't have to feel fake and salesy in order to grow your business. And you no longer have to. Your marketing strategy can feel good to implement and it can work. You can attract the right clients and customers to your business and grow your profits, all while staying true to who you naturally are. So in the name of honest business growth, bring your unique talents, perspectives, and personality to the table. And join us on this week's podcast episode to discover marketing that feels good for you. Welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Personalities Podcast. I'm Brit Kolo, and I'm here today with the Holly Gillen of Holly G Studios. Holly, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on, Brit. I am super excited to dig in and have this conversation with you today.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so Holly and I are here today to discuss a couple things. First, her marketing personality type, which is ENTJ. So if you're listening and you're an ENTJ, I know you're going to totally dig this. And we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about Holly's specific area of expertise, and that is in video. She is your go-to video gal. And we're going to talk about video and preview something that Holly and I have been working on together as it relates to your marketing strategy and video. So can't wait to get into all of that. But first of all, I've got to get you to know Holly G. So Holly, who the heck are you in this world? What's going on over there in New Jersey?
Here over in the burbs in Jersey, over at Holly G Studios, I am, working on Holly G Studios, where I basically empower online entrepreneurs, thought leaders, influencers, anybody running a small business to go from confused to confident and from fearful to fearless on both sides of the camera, which is something I have been doing since 2008. My background is in video production. I started that in 2008 and I got to work on some really amazing projects throughout the years and have then transitioned all of those skills into the online world. So it was a mesh up of all of the things that I loved and was passionate about. And I just had a baby, so I am a new mom. And so proud. I've never been more proud of anything I've ever done in my entire life.
That's so cool. So I love how you just explained that. I just like that line of how you're helping us become confident and fearless on both sides of the camera. And, before we go any farther, when video comes up, as a listener, you might have tuned into a recent episode that I released. It was our Q&A episode. And it was one of the questions was related to video. And I get it all the time. Do I have to do video? Everybody says video is king. Video is trending. Everybody wants video. Therefore, I need to create video content for my business to succeed. And if you go back to that episode, if you haven't listened to it yet, my short answer to anything, any kind of question that starts with, do I have to blank, do video, do Instagram stories, do this, that, the other thing? My answer is always no. No, you don't have to. And then I follow that up with, let's take a look at who you are, your marketing personality type, and see if that thing that you've kind of attached to, you think that you might need to do in your business, let's make sure that it first aligns with who you are. So we know if you go ahead and do that thing, in this case, video, you're going to do it in a way that feels good for you, because when you show up feeling good, your audience is going to feel good and they'll respond positively to that. But in these cases where you feel like you have to be on Instagram stories to make a business work, like point blank, that's not true. And if you feel like you have to do video to make a business work, again, I don't believe that's true. And I think, Holly, you agree. It's like, if you can't do video in a way that's going to feel good for you, whatever audience you have is not going to enjoy it. And then it's kind of all for naught, right?
Yeah.
So I just have to get that out there because I know I've expressed that in the past. And then we're going to talk about video today, and then also in an upcoming video collaboration that Holly and I are working on right now. about how to do video, how to work video into your marketing strategy in a feel-good way based on your marketing personality type. And so we're gonna get to all of that, okay? So before we even get there, and people are like, wait a second, I know Brit has been pretty riled up about video before. Yeah, I am so riled up, and that's why we're doing this. I want to make sure that people have the tools and the resources, and especially the connection with you, Holly, to connect with if video is the answer. And if they're kind of on the fence, if they're thinking like, okay, I can see how video could kind of work. I think I could maybe be comfortable with it, but I need some help. This is the gal you need to talk to, and it's Holly. So Holly, I want to talk about first your marketing personality type so we can understand kind of where you come from.
Sure.
In your business, in your marketing strategy, and video. So just tell us, what's your personality type?
I am the commander, an ENTJ.
Yes, you are. So when you first found out that you were an ENTJ, what was your reaction to the result?
Of course. Of course I am.
And I think I remember because we met face to face for the first time in January at Mastermind Live. And I remember you saying the results, they were accurate and they were a little harsh. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Because the strengths are very strong and the weaknesses that are associated with an ENTJ are also very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So it was very eye-opening and helped me become even more self-aware of things within that are part of my personality that I love, and also things that I wish I could change.
And hold up, I'm going to interrupt this conversation with Holly to remind you about the next Kick-Ass Mastermind Live event. It's happening from July 31st to August 2nd, 2019 in Austin, Texas. And I want you to go to it. I'm going to be there and I want you to be there too. I attended Mastermind Live in January of this year. That's where Holly and I met for the first time. And from that event, I got the idea, the inspiration, and the support I needed to create the Marketing Personalities Affiliate Program. And the affiliate program has been a massive sales generator ever since I launched it in February. So really, without Mastermind Live, the affiliate program would not exist, and my business wouldn't have expanded so much already this year. And that's the kind of thing that happens when you attend Mastermind Live. It's 2.5 days dedicated to masterminding ideas and strategies to expand and grow your business. With me, yes, I'll be there, and a group of 40 other established full-time business owners, all expertly curated by Sarah Christensen and her team at Kick-Ass Masterminds. So you'll be spending time with legit in the trenches entrepreneurs. And that's what I appreciate most about this event. There are literally no wantrepreneurs. You know what I mean, right? And no regurgitated business advice from people who talk the talk, but don't really walk the walk. No wasted time, no irrelevant guest speakers, no fluff. If you're a full-time business owner like me, dedicated to growing a sustainable company and making a big impact on this world, there's no better event to attend this year. So let's do this. Get all the details by visiting mastermind.live. I've linked it at the top of the show notes, so it's super easy to find. And when you decide to attend, make sure you mention that you're a Marketing Personalities podcast listener to get $100 off your ticket price. Early bird ticket prices expire on June 1st, so do not wait. Hey, that's like in 2 days. Do not wait on this. Go to mastermind.live now to speak with the Kick-Ass team, sign up, and I'll see you in Austin on July 31st. Okay, thanks for taking this little detour with me. Now back to my conversation with Holly. And I think we all feel that at some level, especially if we're entrepreneurs. We are growth-minded people. We are fixers. We are solution finders. And so, regardless of our personality type, when we see our results, we're going to see things that we're really great at, and then also things that could not work out for us, kind of hold us back and or rub people the wrong way. And I hear that from ENTJs pretty consistently. It's like, yeah, I know I'm like this, and I like this about me. I like my strengths. I like being straightforward and knowing the answer, and that is just me. And sometimes it's hard to read those results and see how that sometimes can be perceived from others. Tell me about that in your own experience here.
The pros or the cons?
Yeah, well, all of it. Like, how do you see it working out in your life, in your business?
I think the pros are definitely super beneficial to helping me run my business and be a strong leader for my clients and my audience, and, really project my personality in a very charismatic way, especially on video, where I have the ability to really break down complicated tasks or subject matter into easily digestible tips. No fluff. I'm straight to the point, all about, efficiency and getting things done, kicking ass and taking names.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, the shortcomings or the weaknesses associated with my personality definitely also come into play in my business, with sometimes just being maybe short in certain ways, or not allowing room for certain things because my personality is so strong and very matter of fact, and I'm very to the point and super efficient, and I don't understand when other people aren't as efficient sometimes.
Okay, so thank you for going there, because it's not always the most comfortable thing to go into the not so pretty parts of our personality type, but we all have them. Very much we have them. And I think that, like I said, the ENTJ, you said it so brilliantly. It's like the strengths are so strong,
Yeah.
and therefore the weaknesses can feel pretty strong too. And so it just seems more pronounced in the ENTJ. And so I love this because I see, as someone who is not an ENTJ, I see your strengths as so powerful and needed in the world. Like, we need people to know their shit, right? Like, just like point blank, we need people to know stuff, and ENTJs know stuff. And just to kind of give the listener some background, I know that ENTJ who's listening is listening and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, they're already very much resonating. But for the person who might not be as familiar with this personality type, let me kind of give you a rundown of who the ENTJ, aka commander, is. So they are a part of the analyst tribe. So they've got the N and the T in the middle there, those two middle letters. So intuitive thinker, which means they're going to be very rationale driven. They've got to start with strategy. They are very, like I said, intuitive thinkers. They're deep thinkers. They love to look at the data. They love to look at the big picture and then deduce down into smaller, more actionable steps and milestones to get the job done. That's going to be ultimately, they've got to get the job done. And just like Holly said, they're going to prioritize efficiency in getting that done. When that happens, especially for a thinking type as opposed to a feeling type, they might prioritize getting the job done based on the data and based on the action steps more than they prioritize the feelings of the people that are getting the job done, right?
Absolutely.
And we need that. Like, we need that so badly, because as the ENFJ, right? I'm the feeling type here. Sometimes those feelings can hold us back. And then it's so much of a balancing act here. And I, as an ENFJ, look to Holly as the ENTJ, and I admire it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think that's why we're working so well together. And when it comes to Holly's and any other ENTJ's best marketing strategy, an ENTJ is going to feel best when they are being seen as an expert in their industry or field. Okay. So because they know stuff, they know how to get things done. And so they're going to take that leadership role and get the job done through their actionable steps, not because they just came up with them out of the blue, but because they are leading the entire system, the team, the industry sometimes, toward that ultimate goal that they see, because they can envision the big picture. So being seen as an expert is really important for the ENTJ. And when it comes to how Holly is showing up in her marketing strategy. Not only is she showing up primarily in video in her own strategy, she's also showing you how to use video in both your marketing strategy and the stuff that you give your clients and customers, right? Because video can work as a marketing tool. It can also work as a product or part of your service too. It comes in both ends, before the sale and after the sale.
Absolutely.
So after hearing all of that, Holly, what stands out to you? What's resonating?
Mostly the thinking aspect of it is really, really strong for me. Like, I need to have a plan, a strategic plan, not just any old plan. I am a super, super planner and definitely agree with being with the need to be seen as an expert. I couldn't imagine being in any other position. I actually have a funny story about this. So I don't even know how this happened. One time I was part of a mock jury and I'm in the room. We hear the whole argument in the court, or, the pretend court. And we get ushered into this room. It's me and about maybe 25 other people. And we're left alone in there to talk about the case and, come up with our verdict, whether or not we think the person is guilty or not guilty or whatever the case may be. And I'm standing in the room and I was like, people just start talking amongst themselves. I was thinking to myself, no, this is not happening. We need to immediately find out where everybody stands before we start getting into any sort of conversation or debate. Because if everybody's guilty, we have nothing else to talk about. And I was like, I don't want to be in this room wasting my time all day. So I was like, excuse me, everybody. I took control of the entire room. I was like, listen, this is what we need to do. Let's go around the room. Let's say, whether we think the person is guilty or not guilty. And then we can kind of go from there. And I was like, who wants to lead the charge? And they were like, you. And I was like, perfect, let's do it.
That is such a great example of your strength, because without you in that room, who knows what could have happened?
I couldn't even imagine it happening any other way. I was like, I need to take control of this situation immediately.
Yeah. And we need you to do that. That is so good. And so then tell the listeners, how do you take this knowing and this strategic way of looking at your industry and your area of expertise, which is video? How do you then apply it to how you work with your clients and customers? How does that factor in?
Well, I have been working through a process, because I'm all about, systems, processes, strategy, which I didn't realize was actually part of my personality type. And it's actually made its way into my little elevator pitch, which is, I teach people how to create business cinema, which is video with a plan, a purpose, a system, and a strategy. Of course, that's how I would teach.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of those things are extremely important and valuable to me. And I think that, it really helps people create efficiency around the production process. Having a background in video production, I can assure you, I have never, ever walked upon a set where they were like, let's just see what happens. Absolutely not. There is a full plan. There is a lot of pre-production that goes into every professional production. So why, as an online business owner, would you want to go down some road where there was no plan or system or strategy involved in the time that you were investing in your video marketing? It just makes no sense to me. So I have been, working through taking my years of production experience and applying that toward running an online business and using video to run that business. And as a huge part of that business. So mixing those two things together, I've come up with my, what I call the video content map being an acronym for your marketing action plan. And it's all about how to design and implement a strategic video content plan where you learn how to create a repeatable system for creating videos that attract new clients and move your business forward, because ain't nobody got time to be wasting.
Yeah, and video can get so overcomplicated so fast. I see those two ends of the spectrum. And it very much depends on personality type, which we're going to get into. But I can see different people who are attracted to the idea of doing video, doing it in very different ways. Some people are just kind of like, whatever happens, happens. I'll just turn the camera on. And to be very clear, sometimes that works for people and sometimes it doesn't. And I think that that depends on the person actually doing it, right? Their personality type.
Sure.
And this is exactly why Holly and I have teamed up, and we're creating something else beyond this podcast episode to dive deeper into all the types and all the ways to do video. But, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
But then on the other end, there are these people who are attracted to video, and they also need a strategy. They also need to get organized, and they need to make sure that what they're doing is for a good purpose. They're not just wasting their time. And so they go into creating video. And if they don't have the expertise and or an expert in their corner helping them map out that strategy, it can get so complicated so fast.
So overwhelming.
Oh
so
my gosh.
fast. Yeah.
Yes.
There's just so many moving parts, and you don't know what you don't know.
Yes. I feel that way about some things in my business. Like, to me, like accounting and like the legal stuff.
I knew you were going to say accounting.
Oh my gosh. As an ENFJ, it's like accounting and like legal stuff. You don't know what you don't know. And that's just never something that I'm going to go out and try to be an expert in. Like, am I going to do it? Am I going to make sure that I do my taxes every year? Yeah. But I'm not actually going to try to become an expert in law, in like the tax law, right? And I really do think that it's a very similar story when it comes to something like video, because it can be so complicated, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. The difference is that with the video, like, there is no other you. If you want to be the representative of your brand, the face of your brand, the voice of your brand, there's no replacing you, right? So unlike, your accounting where you can just hire that out, or your legal, you can hire that out. You can't really hire out you in your videos.
Exactly. So in this thing that can become so complicated, let's not go down all the rabbit holes. Let's tap into someone who specializes in video and can guide you down the right path so you actually execute, right? So you actually get it done.
But execution is the most important part. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So you don't want to get stuck in the planning station.
Yes, that's right. I remember you saying that at Mastermind Live, that planning. That can be a comfortable place to be, but it's not ever going to move the needle. Planning is never going to actually move the needle. Just won't. Yeah. And I love, here's another example of Holly's ENTJ personality type. Can you tell us what the letterboard behind you in your office says? Because it always makes me laugh.
It says, you can have videos or you can have excuses. You choose.
You choose. I love that so much.
You get to decide which one you want. You decide.
Yeah. And so that's true, especially for the person who's kind of on the fence between, okay, I can see how video can work, but I'm not, and I can see how it could feel good for me. I think it could, but I don't really know how to make that happen. Especially for that person, you can continue being held back by that, or you can move forward. And the fact that you have that, every time I get on a video call with you, Holly, I see that board and I just kind of giggle to myself because it's so to the point. And as we know, the ENTJ personality type is like, all right, like, do it or don't, do it or don't. Like, go ahead or don't, and move out of the way, because then I'm going to go do it. Right?
Exactly.
I love it. Okay. So that gives us, I think, a really great peek into how the ENTJ approaches business and marketing, and also how you're approaching how you work with it. Even permeates, as you can see, not only your marketing strategy, but it's permeating what you actually offer to your clients and customers too. You're offering the strategy because that's what you're great at. So good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So smart.
And I think that's the most important part. I think people get And I do this in other aspects of my business. I'm so guilty of this. And this is why I can speak so open to it is you start to like think about all the things and then you forget like the main reason. So when people are like, oh, the video and what camera should I have and what should I do and how long should the video be and what should I say and all like first let's pause for a second and start at the beginning. And the beginning thing is everything. You're running a business, right? So everything starts with what? The money. How do you make money in your business? And then you reverse engineer everything else.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
I have to remind myself all the time.
Yeah, that's good. So that gives us a really good peek into the ENTJ. Now let's really specifically speak about video. So as you and I have kind of gotten together, put our heads together and looked at how personality type can first indicate whether video is going to feel good or not. And then within the personality types that video will definitely feel great for, or maybe feel great for, there are lots of options in there too. It's not just always face to camera. So can you give us, from your expert position, can you give us the different ways in which anyone can use video in their business, just so we can kind of open up our mind to the different options?
Absolutely. So there's video content marketing, which is basically, you're creating video content, sharing your value, maybe posting it on YouTube or doing like a Facebook Live show. That's, one way. Tons of other ways are building relationships using video. So, creating video messages for your contacts or customers or just your circle of people and, staying in touch with people through the use of video. You can create training videos for your team. You can, share testimonials, or have people share testimonials for you using video. You can do Instagram stories behind the scenes. You can create birthday messages for people, anniversary messages, or, you see one of your clients have a success online, you can send them another personal message. There's so many different ways that you can use video as part of your business that I think, people think video and they're like, oh, it's me talking on camera to all of the entire whole world. And that's not how it has to be. You can start off small by just, if you're uncomfortable in front of the camera, start off by sending private personal video messages to people that you love and respect and people who are going to receive those messages well. This will start to help you build up your confidence in front of the camera and start building those muscles that it's going to take to be able to just like pick up your camera and be like, oh, I have something important to share. I have something valuable to teach and, get you in a place where that becomes more of a habit than anything else. Beyond that, like beyond the different ways to use video, there's different types of videos and, different forms of delivery and all sorts of stuff that Brit and I are going to get into a little bit deeper during our future collaboration.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what you just reminded even me of, is it's not, a video isn't always created for everyone in the whole world. And sometimes it can be as easy as you're on Instagram, and because, video just kind of feels easy and flowy, at least maybe not with a fancy camera or a fancy this and a different angle and a light box and a whatever. But video, like you can kind of get on Instagram stories. I feel like this is, honestly, as I'm saying this, I feel like this is very much me. It's like all the complicated, to me, I would label them complicated. I know that they're not necessarily, but my mind kind of jumps to, oh, all the bells and whistles, not really my jam. I just like getting on Instagram stories and sharing something. I know not everybody feels like that. I do. And so when I think about, just being in my DMs and instead of typing out a response to somebody or reaching out with a written message, sometimes I really love to hit the audio recorder. And then with somebody that I know really well, I'll do a video. I'll do a video story just specifically sent to that person. And that can create such a great relationship. Also, if you're in a sales opportunity, whether it's you're just trying to sell your services like one off, or you're in a launch period, if you are somewhat comfortable on an Instagram story or a Facebook Live or something, you can always open up Zoom or open up Loom and do a quick face to camera personal message to that person, send them the link. They get to see your face, they get to hear your words coming out of your mouth. And there's just such a great relationship that can be built from that. It's a great reminder.
Absolutely. It's something I've been talking about for years. It's something I call the cofactor. And the cofactor is all about connection, community, conversation, and, a bunch of other CO words like confidence and courage and collaboration. And it's basically, forgetting about all of the crazy marketing tactics and just being a real person who's talking to real people and being real.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need super fancy sales techniques to, and goes back to, again, keeping it simple and just starting with one simple thing. What is the one simple thing you can start with when it comes to video is you can use video to share your personality and be a real person to other real people.
Yeah. To me, like to the intuitive feeler, to me, I'm like, yes, I want to do that. That speaks to me very strongly. Now, also in the back of my head.
And it's so easy to do.
I know. And for the person who's thinking, well, yeah, but I don't always have my makeup and hair done. Nobody cares. Get over that. We all need to get over that. Oh my gosh. I could go on a whole other rant. Maybe I will someday, but I could go on a whole other rant about that, but I won't.
Add this to your list of ideas.
I know.
I actually made a video about this, about, makeup or no makeup. And I personally show up with both makeup and no makeup, specifically when Periscope was really big. And I was going live, like, I don't know, multiple times a day. Like I wasn't always in full makeup with hair and eyelashes and lipstick and all of the stuff. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. You know why? Because I was delivering value and that's what they needed to hear in the moment. When you show up as your authentic self, it's almost like people get to peek behind the scenes. It's like you're sharing some secret life with them because, most of the time it's all about hashtag the highlight reel when it should be the highlight for real.
Oh, boom. You've always got these little pieces of language that are just so sticky. I like that. Well, and it allows us in those, I don't know what to call them, in those moments of actual true raw realness where your makeup isn't perfect and your hair is a mess. And
yes,
there's no need to apologize for that because we all have those moments. And honestly, if we're being real honest, 75% of the people that watch that story or watch that Facebook Live or even watch that quick video that you send to that other person probably looks similar. Like they're not all dolled up for a video. So they just relate to that much even quicker. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's this wild thing that we're, I think as a society, first world problems kind of dealing with. And yes, that'll probably be a future rant. But anyway, I want to speak to the person who could see using video in their business, but they feel really hesitant to do a face to camera kind of situation. What are their options in using video? And it's not their face. Maybe it's their voice. Maybe they're kind of off in the distance. Like what kind of options do we have for that?
Oh, so many different types of options. So you can do an animated video. There's so many tools that are out there that help you do this and make it look super pro. So you don't even need to learn complicated professional editing programs, although you can if you want, but you don't need to because there's super easy, cut and paste programs that you can use to create animated videos, slideshows, make GIFs or GIFs, however you want to pronounce them. Lots of different things. You can create a slideshow in Keynote or what's the Windows version of Keynote? I always forget.
PowerPoint. There we go.
Okay. Or PowerPoint. Exactly. Keynote or PowerPoint. And you can use, still images and text and do a voiceover, or you can create a waveform video, which is basically a still image with a animated waveform over it and maybe is captioned on the bottom and it's just your voice and people have an opportunity to connect to that. It doesn't always have to be super fancy hair and makeup, full, all the bells and whistles, as Brit was saying. It doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be your face on camera either.
Yeah. huge permission giver right there, but just big, huge permission slip. And that was really what I wanted to get out of this episode. I wanted my listeners to open their minds to what video actually is, because I think at least the people in my circles and the people that I'm talking with, when video comes up, I think our minds automatically go to live video, right? The Facebook Live stuff, which really can freak people out on many different levels, because it's not just you on camera, but it's also you unedited. Okay. So that's like a whole thing. Some people,
Yes.
some people hear that and they're like, oh, thank goodness. I don't want to deal with editing. I just want to go live. That seems so easy. And then other people are like, oh my gosh, that's like living hell, right? So we're all very different here. And then the next step is to think about like, well, but then my face is going to be on camera and my body is going to be on camera. And okay, so maybe it is one of those two things, but then it also may not be. So many options here that Holly is an expert in. She has for real been around the block on all of these things. And not only does she know how to create these things, but she knows how to create the strategy behind them so they actually create the result you're looking for, which is next level. That's why we're in business. That's why we do this stuff. This is why I wanted Holly on here. And so now that we've opened up your scope of what video can be like, now I want to take just a couple minutes to run through, just so you have an idea of what personality types are probably totally against video, which ones are totally for video, and then which ones are kind of on the fence here in the middle. And then we're going to tell you how to tap into our upcoming video collaboration, where Holly and I are going to go way deeper than we've gone today into how to match up your personality type with your video style and make a strategy around that so it creates the result that you want. Okay. So real quick, I'm going to go through really kind of off the cuff here. And again, this is not scripted. I don't have a list. This is just coming off the top of my head, and we're going to go deeper into it in the collaboration. But I know for sure that the people that are going to be most apt to be like, video, hell yes. Tell me where, tell me how. I'll go for that. I think those people are going to be our fairly extroverted ENTJs. Also, I can see ENFJs like me. We can get down with it, right? I can see ENFPs getting down with it as well. And again, it's not, as I run through these things, they're all doing video in a different way. They're just going to be a little bit easier to convince, like, hey, video could work for you and it could feel really good, right? So we've got ENTJ, ENFJ, ENFP. I can also see for sure ESFPs. They're the entertainer. They can definitely get on video and rock the you know what out of it. And I think the rest, I'm going to move into those that are on the fence. Those that are on the fence are ENTPs. They've got lots to say, but they kind of ride the middle lane most of the time on all things. So they could be like, I could see how it could work. Not totally sure. Let's see. Let's dig in here. So if you're an ENTP, you definitely want to cue in to our further content that we're creating for you. Same deal with the INFJ, and this might surprise people. So I'm gonna go there. So INFJs, yes, they are introverted. They're deep feelers, intuitive. I don't think they usually love to be on camera. However, for the right INFJ with the right mission behind them, they can kind of go on a tear and do whatever they need to see their mission through. And so I am seeing more and more INFJs do video in such a genuine way, because they've got a really strong mission behind them. Then they can show up and feel really good behind video. I want to take some time later on to talk about that phenomenon, because I'm seeing it more and more, and I think it's super cool. So INFJs, maybe on the fence here, cue in to what Holly and I have coming at you, because I think you can get some really good stuff from that. Also on the fence are ISFJs, ESFJs, and ESTJs. That's most of the Sentinel tribe there. They really just need to get things organized, and I think that they could really thrive. I can also see the ISFP and the ESTP, they're part of the Explorer tribe. They are adventurers. They probably will try anything once, and so might not need a whole lot of coaxing, but I think they're kind of in the middle there. And if I haven't mentioned your personality type yet, video might be a tough one. Oh, you know what? I missed INTJ. INTJ, with the right strategy behind it, if they can see how this video or video series is going to factor into their ultimate big, big vision that they have for their life, because they always have one, they could totally rock video as well. So if I haven't mentioned your personality type yet, yeah, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if I want to really go down the path of trying to get you to do video, because you're probably going to resist it pretty hard. And in that case, why do it? Honestly, because if it's not going to feel good for you, your audience is not going to feel good about it. And so then that's not going to work, right? Everybody's welcome to try video, but it's, really pay attention to how you've been feeling as we've been talking about video. Have you started to kind of come around to the idea? Or are you still kind of in your camp of like, nope, I do not want to do video? And if that's you, it's okay. It's totally fine. Again, back to where we started here. If you start a statement with, do I have to blank to make my business work? The answer is going to be no. You don't have to.
Love that.
So boom, there's the quick rundown of that. Thanks for sticking with me, Holly. And now, all right, so I want to end on making sure that everybody knows where to find you online, because I want the people that need help with their video and specifically their video strategy to go find you right now. So where can they find you online?
I am over at hollygstudios.com and on all the social platforms at Holly G Studios.
Yes, perfect. Go hang out with her. She's so fun. And of course, she shares videos of her little baby all the time, Roman. Oh my God, like, come on. He's so cute.
Thank you.
Can't get enough. And then Holly and I have teamed up to, like we've been telling you this whole time, do a video collaboration. I'm actually going to Holly's house and we're gonna record some videos for you. Yeah, this is gonna be so much fun.
I'm so excited.
I know. So we're gonna be doing that really soon. By the time that this episode goes live, we've already done it. So that time has passed. And so we've recorded some videos for you. They're gonna be going live in the next week. And they are going to go, if you thought we went to a cool place here in this podcast episode, we are going way cooler places in this video collaboration, where you're going to be able to match up your best marketing strategy with also your best video strategy, and how those two play into each other, who's best aligned for this, who's not, how we can get you, those of you who are kind of on the fence and in the middle, how can we make this feel really, really good so it actually works for you? All of that stuff we're gonna tackle in this video series. And so we've created that for you. It's going to be going live next week. So the only way to know when those things have gone live is over on Instagram. So what you need to do right now is go over and follow both Holly and I on Instagram. I'm at Marketing Personalities and Holly is at Holly G Studios. And then for sure, if you've done that, you will not miss the video stuff that we have coming your way next week. So that's all from us. Again, if you need to tap into Holly right now, which I would love for you to go do, if video is part of your strategy, you want to make it better, you want to make it more impactful, or you're thinking about incorporating it and you want to tap into all the expertise that Holly brings to the video circuit, go find her, hollygstudios.com, and then tap into us on Instagram, right? Because we're going to be sharing lots of stuff next week. So, all right, we did it, Hol. Thank you so much for being here with us. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you. I mean, I literally could go on and on.
I know. And that's why we're continuing the conversation next week. So.
Exactly. Because there's so much more to talk about. This is such an in-depth subject, and I'm so excited for our collaboration. And I hope that everybody who's interested will come on over and check it out. Yeah, totally. Okay. Go check her out. hollygstudios.com. Come follow us on Instagram at Marketing Personalities and at Holly G Studios. And if this is one of your very first episodes and you have not yet found a marketing strategy that feels good to you, go over to marketingpersonalities.com to find out what your marketing personality type is. And hey, if video fits into that, we've got you covered.
All right. We'll talk to you next week. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Marketing Personalities Podcast. Now it's time to connect your marketing strategy to your personality type. Go to marketingpersonalities.com/MPP to download your marketing personality type full report. Use the code MPP at checkout to get $10 off. And that's a super special code for podcast listeners as a way to say thank you for being here. In your full report, you'll learn about your personality type, how it relates to the work you do, what your best marketing strategy includes so you can start implementing it right away, what your worst marketing strategy includes so you can avoid it, and so much more. Go to marketingpersonalities.com/MPP to get your full report and use the code MPP at checkout to receive $10 off your purchase. And one more thing before you skip on to the next podcast. Would you please share this episode with your entrepreneur friends who also need to feel good about their marketing strategies? Take a quick screenshot of your podcast app right now and share it out via text, Facebook, or my favorite, Instagram. Remember to tag me at Marketing Personalities in the photo so I can be sure to send you a huge high five and thank you for sharing the love. This podcast is edited and produced by the Podcast Engineers. They're pretty great, and you can find them at podcastengineers.com. That's all for now. Thanks as always for listening, and I'll catch you back here next week on the Marketing Personalities Podcast. Love ya. Bye.